Good morning, everybody. Today we start second chapter of the paper differential equation. Name of chapter is linear equation with constant coefficients. That means linear differential equations with constant coefficients. Now in first chapter we have seen linear differential equation of order 1 and its general form is dy by dx plus py is equals to q. In this equation, p and q are either constants or functions of x, and we know the method of solving this differential equation by finding the integrating factor. This is a linear differential equation of order 1. Now we shall see the linear differential equation of order n, and its general form is dny by dx raised to n plus p1 dn minus y by dx raised to n minus 1 plus on pn minus 1 dy by dx plus py is equals to capital X. Now in this equation, this P1, P2, so on, Pn, these are either constants or functions of x. And this right hand side, capital X, is a function of small x, just like sin x, cos x, e raised to x, or algebraic, trigonometric, any type of function. The coefficients P1 to Pn, these are either constants or coefficients of x. If these are constants, this equation is called as a linear equation with constant coefficients. Okay? And if these coefficients are functions of x, that means variables, then the given equation is called as a linear equation with variable coefficients. Now in this equation, we have to study the linear equation with constant coefficients, and that's why we shall consider P1, P2, Pn are constants, and right hand side is any function of small x. If this x is equals to 0, the equation is called as a homogeneous equation, or otherwise it is called as a non-homogeneous equation. Now at first we shall see the solution of homogeneous equation. That means right hand side is equals to 0. It's linear equation with constant coefficient, and right hand side is equal to 0. Sometimes this is called as a first member and this is called as a second member. That is x is 0, the second member is a 0. Now to find its solution, we shall assume that y is equals to e raised to mx is a solution. Then what is dy by dx? Its derivative m e raised to mx. Again second order derivative dy by dx square. Derivative of e raised to mx is again m into e raised to mx, and this m, it will become m square e raised to mx. Okay, and continue like this, we get d n y by, or previous that d n minus 1 y by d x raised to n minus 1 is equals to m raised to n minus 1 e raised to mx, and finally d n y by dx raised to n is equals to m raised to n e raised to mx. Means if y is equals to e raised to m x, it must satisfy, if it is a solution, this is our assumption, then it must satisfy the given differential equation. That means then putting the values here, n the derivative dny by dx raised to n, it is a m raised to n e raised to mx plus p1, its value is m raised to n minus 1 e raised to mx, and plus on, I am taking last step, pn y means e raised to mx is equals to 0. Okay, but we know that e raised to mx is not equal to 0, and therefore dividing both sides of this equation by e raised to mx, we get m raised to m plus p1 m raised to n minus 1, and continuing like this, pn is equals to 0. Okay, we get this equation. Now this equation is called as a auxiliary equation of given differential equation. Auxiliary equation. The solution of given differential equation is dependent on the roots of this auxiliary equation. You can observe that this is a nth degree polynomial equation. As it is a nth degree polynomial equation, it has n roots. Roots means solution. It has n solutions. If we assume that these n solutions are m1, m2, m3, and continuing like this, mn. These are n solutions of this auxiliary equation. Then, though there are these n solutions, there may be possibility that some solution or some roots may be repeated. Some are real, some may be imaginary, and some may be equal roots. Repeated roots means equal roots. Means we shall consider different cases. At first, we shall consider that the roots are real and distinct. Distinct means no two roots are equal. In second case, we shall consider that roots are real and equal. In third case, we shall consider that the roots are imaginary and distinct. And in fourth case, we shall consider that the roots are imaginary and equal. And using these roots, we can write the solution of the given differential equation with constant coefficient. The solutions are, suppose this is a given differential equation, dny by dx raised to n plus p1 dn minus 1 y by dx raised to n minus 1 plus on p and y is equals to 0. That means I have written the same equation with right hand side is equals to 0. By this manner, we can write its auxiliary equation, which is denoted by equation 2. This auxiliary equation has n roots, which are denoted by m1, m2, m3, mn. As a first case, we shall consider that these roots are, that means these roots are real and distinct. If all roots are real and distinct, then solution of equation 1 is given by y is equals to c1 e raised to m1x plus c2 e raised to m2x and plus continue like this up to last root cn e raised to mnx. This is the solution of nth order linear differential equation with constant coefficient when right hand side is 0, when roots are real and distinct. In second case, we shall consider the roots are real and equal. The roots are real and equal. At first we shall consider that m1 is equals to m2, and then the solution, corresponding solution for these two roots is given by y is equals to e raised to m1x in bracket c1 plus c2x. This is a solution corresponding to these two equal roots m1 and m2, and the remaining solutions are given by similar manner as in case of distinct roots, because remaining roots are distinct, and therefore in this case the solution is given by, for m1 is equal to m2, y is equal to e raised to m1x in bracket c1 plus c2x, and continuing the solution from this. Or next root c3 e raised to m3x plus so on cn e raised to mnx. But there may be possibility that more than two roots are equal. For example, m1 is equal to m2 is equals to m3. Three roots are equal. Then the corresponding part of solution is given by y is equals to e raised to m1x in bracket c1 plus c2x plus c3x square, and remaining part of solution is continued as it is. If four roots are equal, m4, m1, m2, m3, m4, then we have to add one more term, c4x cube, and remaining solution as it is, c1 plus c2x plus c3x square plus c4x cube plus after this c5 e raised to m5x, and continue like this. But in general, if the r roots are equal, continue like this, mr, these r roots are equal, then compare with this, and corresponding solution is given by e raised to m1x c1 plus c2x plus on. What is the last term? For four roots, c4x cube. Therefore, for r roots, cr, one smaller than this, c4, then 3x raised to 3. In this case, x raised to 1 less, that means r minus 1. For r roots equal, the corresponding part of solution is given by this, and then remaining term as it is. I have written this solution here. If r roots are equal, the solution is given in this manner. Okay. Third case, roots are imaginary. Imaginary root means complex roots, and all of us know that imaginary roots always appears in pairs. That means, suppose alpha plus I beta, or you may write beta also, is one root. Clearly, other root also appear there, alpha minus I beta. Means imaginary roots appears in pairs, means imaginary root and its complex conjugate. If this is negative, this will become a positive root and its complex conjugate. Suppose this is the first root, m1, and this is the m2. That means m1 and m2 are imaginary roots. Remember that imaginary roots always appears in pair. Means if m1 is a imaginary root, there exists another imaginary root, which is a conjugate of previous imaginary. If there is a third imaginary root, there exists a fourth imaginary roots also, which is a conjugate of third imaginary root. Means at first we shall consider there exists one imaginary root, that means then other also exists, m2. Alpha plus I beta and alpha minus I beta. These are the two imaginary roots m1 and m2. Then corresponding part of solution is given by y is equals to e raised to alpha x. Here alpha is say beta. Only sign is different, plus minus. Then e raised to alpha x, c1 cos beta x plus c2 sin beta x. This is the solution corresponding to these imaginary roots, and then remaining part as it is c3 e raised to m3 x and so on. Only you have to write the solution corresponding to these two imaginary roots, and I have mentioned this solution here. m1 is equal to alpha plus I beta, m2 is equal to alpha minus I beta, and corresponding part of solution is y is equal to e raised to alpha x into c1 cos beta x plus c2 sin beta x, and plus remaining solution. Okay. There may be possibility that these roots will be repeated, imaginary repeated or equal roots. That means m3, you may write any form. This m3 is alpha plus I beta, m4 alpha minus I beta. Or you may consider this as a m1, m2, m3, m4. Negative SN, m1, m2, m3, m4 in similar manner. Then in this case, imaginary repeated root, the corresponding solution is given by e raised to alpha x. Then c1 plus c2x cos beta x plus c3 plus c4 x sin beta x. This is the solution corresponding to these four imaginary roots. That means two are repeated. Here I have taken m1, m2, m3 and m4, and the solution is like this. You have to add remaining part of solution for remaining fifth root. Okay. You have to remember this as a formulas to find the solution of linear differential equation with constant coefficient and right hand side is 0. Actually, when right hand side is equal to 0, these solutions are called as the complementary function. We shall see later on that. You have to remember that order of differential equation and number of arbitrary constant in the solution must be equal, then it will become a general solution. Okay. Order of difference is there, order is n, there are n arbitrary constant c1, c2 up to cn. Okay, with this formula today we shall stop. In next lecture we shall solve some problems using these formulas. Okay, thank you.